6 co-founders gone in 6 months. $1 billion burning every month. And a company merger that turned a scrappy AI startup into something its founders didn't recognize anymore. In this video, you're going to discover why half of xAI's founding team abandoned ship in the middle of the biggest AI race in history. You'll learn what happened behind closed doors that made brilliant researchers choose to walk away from billions. And you'll understand why this mass exodus might tell us more about the future of AI than any product launch ever could. Because what's happening at xAI isn't just about one company. It's a warning sign about where this entire industry is heading. When Elon Musk launched xAI in July 2023, he assembled what looked like an AI dream team. 12 co-founders, each one a heavyweight from Google, OpenAI, or top universities. The pitch was simple. Build AI that actually understands the universe. Beat OpenAI at their own game. Fast forward to today. 6 of those 12 are gone, and the last 2 quit within 24 hours of each other. Let me walk you through who left and why it matters. Kyle Kosic was first. He'd come from OpenAI's technical staff to help build xAI's infrastructure. In mid-2024, he went right back to OpenAI. No explanation, just walked back to the competitor. Then, Christian Szegedy left in February 2025. This guy spent 13 years at Google and literally invented a technique called batch normalization that powers modern AI. He posted on X that differences in research focus was the main reason of my leaving xAI. He thought everyone was building AI wrong and wanted to try something completely different. But the departure that really shook things was Igor Babuschkin in August of 2025. This was xAI's chief engineer. He managed 29 people directly. He oversaw the construction of their massive Colossus supercomputer in Memphis. According to reports, Babuschkin had dinner with an AI safety researcher, where they discussed how Grok was failing to block instructions for making nerve agents and nuclear weapons. After that conversation, Babuschkin left to start a venture capital firm focused on AI safety. Elon Musk reportedly committed $200 million to it. Think about that. The guy building your AI decides the safety problems are so serious, he needs to leave and fund other people to solve them. Greg Yang stepped back in January 2026 because of Lyme disease. That's health-related, but it still left the team down to 8 active co-founders. Then came the final blow. February 9th and 10th, 2026. 2 co-founders quit within 24 hours. Tony Wu, who led all the reasoning work and reported directly to Musk, resigned late on February 9th. His goodbye post was optimistic, but revealing. It is an era with full possibilities. A small team armed with AIs can move mountains. The next day, Jimmy Bia left. Bia is an assistant professor at the University of Toronto. He studied under Geoffrey Hinton, who literally won the Nobel Prize for AI research. Bia had been leading research, safety, and enterprise efforts at xAI. His farewell message was cryptic and honestly a bit chilling. Recursive self-improvement loops likely go live in the next 12 months. It's time to recalibrate my gradient on the big picture. In plain English, he thinks AI is about to start improving itself rapidly, and he needed to step outside xAI to prepare for what's coming. Here's where it gets really interesting. It wasn't just the co-founders who left. At least 8 other engineers announced departures in the same week, and some of them were brutally honest about why. Vahid Kazemi, a machine learning researcher, told NBC News that xAI's hours were, quote, crazy. Essentially, they take all your time, including the holidays and the weekends. He confirmed he was working 12-hour days, but his public statement cut even deeper. He posted, "In my opinion, all AI labs are building the exact same thing, and it's boring. I think there's room for more creativity." Then he said something that I think is the real reason so many people left. A lot of people just kind of realized it's not going to be a high-growth company that they thought it's going to be. A small AI lab is going to be growing much faster than a trillion-dollar space company. There it is. These engineers looked around and realized they could build something bigger and better with a tiny team using AI tools than they could inside Musk's empire. Employee reviews on Blind give xAI 1.3 out of 5 stars for work-life balance. The former CFO lasted 102 days before he left for OpenAI, later describing 120-plus hour weeks. The former general counsel posted an AI-generated video of himself with the caption, "I love my kids and I don't see them enough." The Financial Times talked to over a dozen current and former employees. The complaints were consistent: burnout, frustration with Musk's strategy, and compressed research timelines that left no room to actually think about what they were building. To understand why this all happened now, you need to know about the merger. On February 2nd, 2026, 9 days before those final 2 co-founders quit, Elon Musk announced the biggest merger in history. SpaceX was acquiring xAI in an all-stock deal. The combined entity, valued at $1.25 trillion. SpaceX is worth about $1 trillion. xAI was valued at $250 billion. The math is in CNBC's reporting from deal documents showing the exact share conversion rates. Here's the thing. xAI was burning approximately $1 billion per month, according to Bloomberg in June 2025. The company lost $1.46 billion in just the third quarter of 2025 on only $107 million in revenue. They burned $7.8 billion in the first 9 months of the year. Musk called that reporting nonsense on X, but Bloomberg cited investors who'd actually seen the books. SpaceX, meanwhile, made $15 billion in revenue and $8 billion in profit in 2025. The merger gave xAI the financial lifeline it desperately needed, but it also transformed the company from a nimble AI startup into a small piece of a trillion-dollar space conglomerate. Suddenly, you're not building a scrappy competitor to OpenAI anymore. You're a subsidiary. Your decisions run through SpaceX leadership. Your roadmap gets tied to rocket launches and satellite deployments. And that SpaceX IPO everyone's talking about? That's scheduled for mid-June 2026. Fortune explicitly warned that these departures could complicate those plans and spook potential investors. 3 days after Tony Wu and Jimmy Ba quit, Musk held an all-hands meeting. And in an unusual move, xAI published the entire 45-minute video on X the next morning. Musk's explanation for the departures was carefully worded. At the meeting, he said, "Because we've reached a certain scale, we're organizing the company to be more effective at this scale. There's some people who are better suited for the early stages of a company and less suited for the later stages." But his post on X the next day was blunter. xAI was reorganized a few days ago to improve speed of execution. This unfortunately required parting ways with some people. TechCrunch pointed out that Musk was reframing what employees had called voluntary departures as organizational layoffs. Push, not pull. The company was restructured into 4 divisions. 3 make sense. Grok for the chatbot, coding for automation, Imagine for AI video. The 4th one is where things get weird. It's called Macrohard. Yes, that's a joke about Microsoft. Macrohard, get it? But Macrohard is a real project. Musk filed a U.S. trademark for it in August 2025. The goal is to build what Musk calls a purely AI software company. Essentially, a digital entity that simulates an entire corporation using AI agents. At the all-hands, Toby Pollan, who's leading the project, said Macrohard should be able to do anything on a computer that a computer is able to do, including designing rocket engines. The meeting also featured Musk's vision for space-based AI. He argued that energy constraints on Earth would make data centers in space the cheapest option within 2 to 3 years. He described lunar factories launching AI satellites with electromagnetic catapults. Multiple outlets noted these plans lack any actual implementation details, with Gizmodo headlining their coverage, read Musk's gibberish rant. There's one more piece to this story that nobody's saying out loud, but it's impossible to ignore. In late December 2025, Users discovered that Grok could generate non-consensual sexualized images of real people, including minors. An analysis of 20,000 Grok-generated images found that 2% appeared to show people under 18. Another study calculated that Grok was creating approximately 6,700 sexually suggestive images per hour, 84 times more than the top 5 deepfake websites combined. France raided X's Paris offices. The EU opened formal investigations. The UK threatened to ban X entirely. 35 U.S. state attorneys general demanded xAI stop allowing sexual deepfakes. A lawsuit was filed by the mother of one of Musk's own children after users created sexualized images from her childhood photos. No departing employee explicitly said the deepfake scandal was why they left. But Igor Babuschkin quit in August 2025, right after discussing Grok's safety failures. The company's former head of safeguards left in December 2025, the exact month the crisis erupted. It's hard to believe that's just coincidence. The same week xAI lost half its founding team, OpenAI researcher Zoe Hitzig resigned in a New York Times essay. OpenAI fired a safety executive who opposed letting ChatGPT produce adult content. Anthropic's head of safeguards research quit with a letter warning the world is in peril. Apple lost a dozen AI researchers, mostly to Meta. This is happening everywhere. But as Fortune noted, the scale of the exits at xAI is unusual. Losing half your founding team in under 3 years, with 2 co-founders and 8 engineers leaving in 1 week, goes beyond normal turnover. Here's what I think is actually happening. The engineers leaving xAI are proving their own thesis. They said a small team with AI tools can now move faster than a giant corporation, and they're betting their careers on it. Multiple departing engineers are launching startups together. Recruiters from Meta, Google, and Mistral are in contact with the others. The 6 co-founders still at xAI, Musk, Manuel Kreuss, Guodong Zhang, Toby Polin, Zhihang Dai, and Ross Nordin, now have to prove that staying was the right choice. They have to show that Macrohard and space-based data centers and AI catapults on the moon aren't just ambitious visions. They're actually achievable. And they have to do it in the next 120 days, before that SpaceX IPO, before investors start asking the same questions the departing co-founders already answered with their feet. The exodus from xAI isn't a story about a company failing. It's a story about a company succeeding in a direction its best people didn't want to go. And that might be the most important lesson in all of this. When the people building the future decide they can build it better somewhere else, that tells you everything about where the real power is shifting. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the AI stories that actually matter. Drop a comment and tell me, would you have stayed at xAI or walked away? And what do you think happens to these departing engineers in the next year? Thanks for watching.